Hey guys, how are you? What's up, ladies? I am waiting for a young lady to join me. I'm going to be interviewing the sister of somebody who lost her life in a car accident. And it was her sister, her sister's boyfriend, and her sister's friend. They were all three coming home, and they were going through a light, and a car went 85 miles an hour through a red light and smashed into the car, killing the people inside of it. And so I wanted to bring her on and have her talk to you guys a little bit tonight to help get the word out about what's going on and share her sister's story. I'm just letting her know that I sent her the email with the link. So how is everybody? What's going on? The notification flashed, then disappeared and came back up. That's odd. Hey, Melissa, Danielle, Karen, what's going on? I'm just waiting for her to click up and join. It's really bad, Danielle. And the worst part about it is out of the 3 news articles that I found on the situation, they all said different things. So it was very hard to figure out what was actually going on with the case. And when I finally was able to contact this lady, Jasmine, that I'm talking to, that I'll be bringing up, we discussed a lot of things, and she told me a lot of things, and I told her that I'd like her to come on and share the story with you guys because it's been 6 months and the driver hasn't been charged with anything yet. So I want her to be able to share the story with you guys and help explain, how things in Arizona are taking place. The name again. The young lady's name is Jasmine. That'll be coming on. I touched on the subject briefly, I think last week in one of my lives, to let you guys know that I was doing an interview with her. So I'm just waiting for her to pop on. Let's try this again. Let me email her again. She said she didn't get it. 1 second, guys. All right, you guys still there? Looks like I lost a few of you. Okay. I'm just waiting. Sorry, guys. It's been 6 months, no charges yet. Yeah, no, it's been 6 months. No charges, not even a citation. And they're still supposedly waiting on toxicology reports. Thank you. So I missed the story. Okay. A young lady and her boyfriend and her friend were driving home from going out, and they were going through a green light, and a driver ran a red light going 85 miles an hour, and he smashed into their car, killing the 3 of them. And he actually waited for the cops to come and everything, and they know who the driver is and they know everything that happened, but they're not charging him with anything. She's having an issue. It is BS. I mean, yeah, 6 months. It's insane, isn't it? I mean, when there's an accident, and because the driver did go to the hospital for minor injuries, they take blood, and within 4 hours, especially when there's deaths involved, they usually have the toxicology report back, and so they would know if he was under the influence of anything, and it's just insane that all this time it's been going on. It's in Arizona, and there's no justice, nothing. It's just crazy. So did the guy get in trouble at all? No, Anne, not yet. She's going to be talking a little bit about everything. We're gonna cover everything that we possibly can, as of right now, from the start of when it happened till today, and just fill you guys in with as much as we can. Well, all right, here she is. I'm bringing her up, ladies.
Hi guys.
Hey Jasmine, how are you?
Good. I'm doing all right.
So we have like 12 people in here right now. It could end up being more. It could end up being less. It just depends on people and if they're busy, what they have going on. But you're sure that you're okay talking about this with me today on live?
Yes, I'm good with that.
All right. So, Stephanie's here. I know that you've talked to her quite a few times also.
Yeah, I've been talking to her over social media lately.
Yeah, she's here with us. So I guess if you could just start out by tell me about your family. Tell us a little bit about your family. How would you, I guess, describe your family dynamics?
Yeah. So, I mean, me and my sister Adiana, we were like always the closest. We're only 3 years apart. She's 18 and I'm 21. So me and her are very close. We also have our older brother Marcos, who she was very close to, and we also have two younger sisters, Liliana and Nayali. And then
Ariana is the one that was involved in the car accident, guys. I know I didn't say that earlier, but she was the one that had lost her life that night in the car accident. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to let them know who we were talking about.
Yeah, no worries. And then my mom and my stepdad were actually living with my sister Adiana and her boyfriend Kevon. They both passed away in the accident with their puppy. So my parents were very close, with my sister as well as with Kevon.
How would you describe Ariana? If you had to describe her, what kind of person was she? Her interests and things,
Yeah, and I also have my aunt Ari here with me as well.
Okay. Hi, Ari.
Hi.
Yeah, I mean, Adiana, she was a very hardworking person. She actually had 2 jobs and she was going to school. She was trying to finish high school. She had just got her first apartment as soon as she turned 18 in February. Do you want to say anything, Ari?
She's very determined and an overachiever. When she set her mind on something, she always made it happen and completed it. It wasn't just something just said and not done. And when she went to look for her apartment, it's like within 2 hours she was paying on it.
Wow. She knew what she wanted. She set her mind to something, and that's it, huh? She made it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's it.
And that week that she had passed away, she was actually going to buy a second car for her boyfriend, Kevon, actually.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, she was very, funny person. She was always making jokes. She's always, what they call roast people all the time, make jokes. She was a huge pet lover. She had 3 dogs. Actually 4 dogs. And, I told you guys how the husky had passed away in the accident.
The puppy in the car with them as well, right?
Yeah, it was Kevon and my sister Adiana's puppy, and they had it in the back seat with them. I believe Jasmine was probably holding the dog most likely when the accident occurred. And so the puppy had passed away with her, and then she had another puppy, King. He was a Doberman, and a few days after my sister passed away, he actually just like just dropped dead. Just dropped dead. Like I don't.
Out of nowhere.
He was perfectly healthy, and he
had all his shots.
just passed
from
away.
a broken heart type of thing, maybe that happens. They get
Yeah,
so
that's what we were thinking, like of a broken heart.
She snagged them.
Yeah, we tried to say Nani came and took him. We call my sister Adiana Nani.
okay.
So in case I confuse you guys, that was her nickname.
The people in the car with her was Kevon, which was her boyfriend, and her friend Jasmine.
Yes.
Could you tell me a little bit about them? Tell us what kind of people are they? Like are they goal driven? You know, just share. It's important that everybody knows not just their names and that they passed away, but what kind of people they are. How their hearts were. You know, their minds. You know, make their legacy just go and go as far as it possibly can. Just share anything about them.
Yeah, of course. So, you know, I had met Kevon a couple of months ago. He had moved in with my sister into her apartment, and I was very surprised because my sister, you know, she had gotten out of a really bad relationship, so she wasn't looking for anybody at all. And then she brought him home, and I was just like, you know, let me see what's up with this guy. You know, if my sister thinks he's, you know, all that, I got to see what's going on with him. And I remember he was very shy kid, always kept to himself, and I actually had to like ask him like, hey, what's your name? You never tell me your name ever. And he was just like sat there in the corner just smiling. And then after a couple, you know, couple of weeks, we started, you know, we started getting along with him. We started getting more along with him, you know, and I realized that he was actually a very funny person. He actually made music as well. I didn't know that for a couple weeks. Some of the music that we would listen to the car was actually his, and it was pretty good. I know he definitely loved his cousins. He would talk to them all the time. He was also a dog lover as well, and that's why they had just recently got that puppy, the husky. Her name was Nina, and that was supposed to be his dog. And I remember him, you know, trying to train her, and he would go walk her in the corner, sit her up, like if she's like, you know, in timeout in the corner. You know, it was a pretty funny experience trying to watch him train the dogs. All right, do you want to say anything about Kevon since you guys were kind of close?
They don't know anywhere of directions where they're going at all. I guess the girls took him to work one day, and you don't get on a freeway to take him to work. And the kids, my sister had called me saying that the kids had said that they ended up in Chandler, and he only worked in Phoenix until he said, I think we're going the wrong direction. And they all were just going along with it.
Wow.
Yeah, like Chandler is like it's like about 3 towns over. It's like a 40-minute drive. It should have took them 10 minutes to get to work.
So he was late for work that day.
Yeah. He had to use his PTO that time because yeah. And I guess they don't get on a freeway when they go to work, and they were on the freeway and everything. And he's like, I think we're going the wrong way.
And I remember telling him, you think, buddy?
That's really funny. What about Jasmine? What kind of person is she?
Oh man, Jasmine was a very funny, outgoing person. She never judged anybody. You know, she had it hard growing up, but you know, she definitely made something of herself. She was a very good friend. She had lots and lots of friends. Like, I don't even think they all could fit in the funeral when they came.
There was a lot outside.
Yeah, there was actually people outside and in the hallways at her services. That's how loved she was.
Wow.
You know, she was just she liked going out on late night drives, listening to music. That was kind of, her and Ariana's thing. They would, go on late night drives and
Listen to their music.
listen to their music, and that's what they were doing that night of the accident. Just going for a drive. Ariana and Kevon went to go pick up Jasmine. She doesn't live that far from us, so it was about like 15 minutes, not even. And they went to go pick her up, and then they stopped at a gas station at Circle K for some snacks, and we're heading back to Ariana and Kayvon's apartment, and they were just gonna hang out like they usually do. We came back to their apartment, and we seen she had everything all set up for her to come over. But yeah, Jasmine was just always just very free spirited person, I could say.
So the day of the accident, leading up to the time that you found out that this tragedy had happened, was it a normal day? Like, what were you guys doing? Do you remember that day at all? Like the events leading up to the accident?
Yeah, like the days leading up to the accident, I had just came over 2 days prior to the accident. And my sister, she was teaching me how to do nails actually, and I had just gotten some new stuff, and she was teaching me, and it started getting late. So usually I take all of my bags with me. I have a lot of nail stuff, and I was like, you know what, this stuff is really heavy. I'm just gonna leave it here. I'll be back tomorrow or the next day. And that was the last time I had seen both her and Kayvon. I had given them some what was it, Jack in a Box tacos, and that's her favorite food. And I remember she took all the ranch and hot sauce, and I was like mad at both of them. And I remember they left, and that was like the last time I had seen them. I said I'll be back tomorrow, the next day. And Ari, my aunt, was actually here with my mom at the apartment when the police officer had showed up. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Since you were the first person to.
Yeah, absolutely. What happened? How did you find out?
It was we were well, my sister was getting worried about them. They should have been back, and so we had her husband call because these kids. I'm 18. I'm grown. Mind your business. So my sister didn't want to get yelled at, so she told her husband to call and check on them, and there was nothing. We didn't get nothing back. So we just figured maybe they hung out at Jazzy's house instead and stayed over there. And so we're just like, okay, we'll start worrying about 9 o'clock, call them and, see if they're up yet or whatnot. And approximately around, I would say about 6:40 or so, there was a knock at the door in the AM. There was a knock on the door on the 25th. It was a Glendale Police Department officer, and he had mentioned that they were in an accident. He didn't know how serious, how anything. He just was asking like a bunch of questions, like and we didn't know everything on like the exact address of Jasmine's. Like my sister, she'd been there, but she didn't know exactly where it's at. She just knew how to drive there, and she only knew Kevon as Casey, so she didn't know his real name. So she had to look around for stuff. And the last thing the officer had told my sister was, "Don't take it as don't go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital because when we're unable to speak to them, that means that the doctors are working on them, and that's why we're not able to get the questions. That's why I'm asking you so many questions about them, is because we're not unable to speak to them and stuff." So that's mainly it. And trying to get the other kids' information to notify their parents.
And this is Jasmine speaking again. And like my mother had called me that morning, and honestly, like I always ignore my parents' phone calls all the time, but that night around the accident happened right past midnight. And
I was going to ask about that because your aunt said they knocked on the door at 6:45ish.
around 6:45 in the morning, and the
6 hours
accident.
later.
Yeah, the accident happened right past midnight. So we didn't even know about it for hours, and ABC 15 had already came out with a news story before we were even notified. And my aunt had actually sent me that article that morning and was like, "Is this your sister?" And I was like, "No," because it said one person dead, two seriously injured. And I was like, "No, that's not my sister." And it was my sister and Kevon and Jasmine, and I couldn't believe it. But that around midnight that morning, I had got like a weird feeling, a really bad feeling, and I was at my boyfriend's house, and I was like, I need to go on a walk. Like I have really bad anxiety. I don't know what's wrong, and I went on a walk, and I had stayed outside for about an hour in Arizona. Arizona's pretty hot, and that was a long time to just be sitting outside, just in my feelings. I was listening to music, and even listening to a couple songs that I would always imagine, like me and my sister, like singing, and it was just really weird. And I just went to bed, and then that morning, my mom called me, and usually I ignore her, but something told me to pick it up. And she told me, your sister has been in an accident. They didn't know how serious it was. And I just kept thinking, oh, she's going to be fine. My sister's been in a lot of accidents, not her fault. Like, somebody actually cut her brakes a couple of weeks before that, and she had crashed into a wall, and it flipped, and she ended up getting a new car as soon as possible. Like, she's just a hard worker. But I was just thinking, like, oh, she's gonna survive, like she's all right. And I told my mom, like, just calm down. And I was thinking they're being over dramatic, just like how I was in an accident. They're just being over dramatic. And then my aunt called me, and she's like, something's wrong, I don't think I should go to work. And I was like, no, just go to work, everything's gonna be fine. My parents are dramatic. And so she went to work, and then not even a couple of like 30 minutes later, my mom's calling me from the hospital telling me that, it's really serious. They don't know if she's going to make it. And I was like, why are you lying to me? What are you saying to me? And I immediately I didn't even brush my teeth, wash my face. I had makeup on from the night before, and I immediately went down to the hospital. And then I get there, and there's all these doctors, and then there was the chaplain, like the priest there, and they end up saying, "Do you want to come into the chapel?" And I'm like, "Go into the chapel? Chapel for what? What are you talking about? Like, why do we need to go into the chapel?" And all these doctors brought us into the chapel, and they sit us down, and they start telling us that my sister, she they told us how she died on scene, and they resuscitated her, and she had lack of oxygen to the brain, had caused her to go brain dead. And they just basically said they did everything that they possibly could, and that it was, and she was, all her organs were failing. They told us that she couldn't even donate any of her organs because that's how bad the accident was. And they basically told us that it was time to let her body do what it was trying to do, which was die. Is what I remember. That's the exact words the doctor said, was, you need to let her body do what it needs to do and die. And
We're forcing it to stay alive.
basically the only thing that was keeping her alive was the machine. And they were telling us it would be best to let her go. And my sister always said, if I ever became a vegetable, we would joke about it. She said, pull that plug, sis. And, I was like, I'm not going to let her suffer. And while they're telling us this, right after that, the detectives, as soon as they were done telling us that, the detectives come in and they start telling us about the accident. And then the doctor interrupts and tells us that, it's like we need to hurry up and see her before, her body does what it's doing. And so we went, and she was surrounded by, all of her loved ones, all of her siblings. And, we said our goodbyes, and, we had a priest there, take her into the Lord's arms. And, as soon as they started pulling, my mom couldn't even be in the room for when they started taking the machines down. but I was there, and as soon as they started, taking the machines down and her body started doing stuff, I walked out and I immediately started throwing up everywhere. And it just felt so unreal. And the most tragic part is when we arrived to the hospital, they weren't even trying to tell us anything. They said that she wasn't there, and something told my mom to go into the unit next door to where we were at, and she went next door, and they said, yeah, she's here. And then they just said, the Prasad's family is here. And then next thing you know, like 10 doctors come out to my mom and tell her, the seriousness of it. But after that, Jasmine's family, we didn't know how to contact Jasmine's family. We didn't know, her aunt or none of that. And so I had went on Jasmine's Facebook, and I just started texting all her friends who had recently commented on her statuses. And I told them, hey, something serious has happened. Please, I need somebody to contact me. And somebody eventually contacted her aunt who she lived with. And they were at the hospital saying that nobody's telling them any information. And I see them, on the other side where we were, and I'm on the phone. I see she's on the phone, and I'm like, are you Jasmine's aunt? And, we found each other. And at that time, I had knew that Jasmine had passed. Jasmine had passed away on scene. But I didn't have the heart to tell them. And so I figured the doctors would tell them in a nice way. And so I told them to go in there, and I told the receptionist lady that Jasmine's family was here. And the receptionist lady was very rude. She did not tell her family in a nice way. She said, well, Jasmine's not here. They don't take deceased bodies to the hospital. They take them to the morgue when they pass. And her aunt is like, what? Like, our baby's gone? And then the lady's like, no, that's not what we said. And we're like, yes, that is what you said. And so that's how she found out, was, in a really bad way. So, they ended up going into the chapel, and we were outside in the waiting room, and I could hear their cries and their screams when they were talking to the detective.
It doesn't sound like the hospital was being very cooperative, especially with her family. They didn't seem like they wanted to actually tell them the truth and what was actually happening.
Yeah, it wasn't genuine at all. Like, that receptionist lady was very rude, and she was even trying to deny my stepdad to go in, and she's all like, we don't allow visitors. And we're like, we're not visiting, we're saying goodbye. Like, what? Like,
So Jasmine passed away at the scene.
Yes, Jasmine, yeah, she did pass away on scene immediately, so she was not taken to a hospital.
And then Ariana passed away at the hospital.
Yeah, well, she was dead on scene, but they had resuscitated her and brought her back to life, and then took her to the hospital where she passed that same day. Kevon was actually we didn't find this out until later, but he was actually alive on scene. He had told the police officers how to get to our apartment, and he's the only reason why we knew what happened, was he had told them how to contact us and everything. And he had later
responsive at the scene of the accident. He was able to talk and think, process the way he normally would.
Yeah, so he had seen what happened. He's seen my sister next to him. He's seen what happened to Jasmine. And he's seen the whole thing, and and that's what hurts, is he knew what happened. And he had later went into a coma, and he had passed a week and a half later.
So he was on life support for a week?
Yeah, he was on life support for a week, and he had passed away.
How are Jasmine and Kevon's families doing?
I know Jasmine's family, they're going through it hard. Jasmine had younger siblings, and And her aunt is older, and Jasmine used to be her eyes for driving at night. It's her great aunt actually that raised her, and Jasmine lived with her, so it's very hard for them to pass by her room and just be there without her. um they're taking it very hard. We're trying to be there for them, and we just celebrated Jasmine's 20th birthday actually. And we just celebrated Kevon's 19th birthday. So we went over to, Jasmine's house, and we had a little celebration, and we did a balloon release for her 20th birthday. And Kevon's family, most of them are out of state. So it was even more hard for them. But, his mom and grandpa, they're just, very, very heartbroken. They just had to celebrate his 19th birthday as well, not even a week ago. Yeah, and he had just met all of his, the rest of his family, not even a week before. So, and they also met Ariana too. They had finally introduced, their relationship to the family. So, it was very hard for them to process what had happened. Immediately when Ariana had passed away, they were immediately, there for us for support and all of that.
What about your family? How are you guys doing since Ariana passed?
It's been hard. Actually, our great grandmother, she ended up passing about a week after our sister did. And we felt like, it was kind of like the last heartbreak for her, like the last straw for her, and she ended up passing away. Your mom never seen her cry. And yeah, we've never seen our great grandmother cry ever, and like not even when her brothers or husband passed, we never seen her cry. But when she found out about my sister, she was crying, and I felt like she went with a broken heart as well. And it's hard because my mom and my stepdad lived here with Ariana and Kevon, and since she's passed, I've had to try to take over things here, and it's very difficult, like being here where they lived. And then she has her pets here that we're trying to take care of. But it's like not only has this accident affected our heart and our mental health, but physically as well. I didn't know that my sister didn't have these dogs on her apartment lease, so we just got a 15-day eviction notice to evict out of here, and so we're now having to find another apartment. I'm having to try to find temporary placement for her pets because I don't want to lose them. And I actually don't drive. I've been always petrified of car accidents. I'm 21 and I don't drive. My little sister used to drive us all around. She was, the one to kind of do everything for us when we needed to get everywhere. Yeah. And her and Kevon were actually trying to teach me how to drive a week before the accident, and my sister told me, she's like, Jasmine, you do know how to drive. You drive better than I do. You just got to stop letting your fears take over. And I was like, you're right, and I was planning to get my license, but now I'm like, I don't think I can ever drive again. I have bad anxiety in the car. I get scared. I'm like literally always holding on to something in the car. I have panic attacks. I can't stand to go anywhere in the car at all.
I can imagine. It's scary. It's very scary.
Yeah, I'm like, I've already, been traumatized from past car accidents, and now this, just like, it wasn't even her fault.
From what I've read, I'm not legally allowed to mention his name, but from what I've read, the driver stayed on the scene and was taken to the hospital for some injuries that he had on his body as well. And they did a toxicology blood draw on him. And this happened 5 or 6 months ago.
This happened on August 25th.
August 25th. Okay.
Yeah, almost 3 months ago.
Okay. So from what I know, nothing has happened with this driver yet, and they still do not have the results of his toxicology report back. Is this correct?
Yeah, that is what we've been told, is they haven't gotten like a full toxicology report back. And they're still waiting on the crash data, all of this, and it doesn't make any sense why it's taking so long.
Are there light cameras on your traffic lights in the area that the accident took place?
Yes, there's actually 4 cameras right there, and the detective told me that they did record it. It's live action, and I had asked them if I could see that video, and they told me it would take months for them to get that video over to us.
Months.
Yeah, months.
It's amazing. They have all the proof they need in video.
That's what I'm saying. And I have a friend who works, for like the DMV, for like the light control, and they said that it takes literally a few minutes to download it.
So he's still walking around, driving around, doing whatever, living his normal life as of right now.
Yes.
No tickets, no citations, nothing happened to him at all.
Nope, not even a suspended license, nothing. He's still able to walk around the world. He's still able to drive. And that's what scares me, is he lives only 15 minutes away from us. You know how small this town is? I could be at Circle K, the Walmart, the gas station, anywhere, and I could just pass him and I wouldn't even know.
You don't even know what he looks like?
I don't even know what he looks like. I only know his name, but legally we can't, release that. But yeah, we don't even know what he looks like, nothing. I've tried to do my research, but it seems like he's being very protected.
I can't find him. I've looked in a lot of different ways for this man, and I can't find him anywhere on the internet or social media, anywhere.
Yeah.
And then people will help you find him. I don't know, I'll tell her I'll share this on my social media too. Sucks. Sad story.
It's really sad.
I'll help her spread awareness though on mine. Let me interrupt.
And yeah, I'm just like, and it just what also makes my heart hurt is Jasmine had got, the worst end of the accident, and my sister and her boyfriend were trapped inside the car still. And they said that when EMTs and police arrived on scene, they said that he was just sitting there on the curb.
He was just sitting there hanging out, waiting.
Yeah, waiting, just sitting there on the curb and on his phone. And I'm like, he couldn't help them. He couldn't check on them. Like, Kevon was still alive on scene. Like, I'm pretty sure he's seen him just sitting there. Like, that's what really irks my nerves, is knowing that he didn't even care enough to make sure that they're all right. I understood he had injuries, but they were minor injuries, like no broken bones, nothing serious. He could have helped.
He was driving fast, like 85 miles an hour, I think is what I read.
We've been told he was going 87 in a 40, and my sister was going the speed limit of 40.
Wow.
Fundraiser.
You had mentioned to me that you're trying to organize a protest.
Yes. So right now we're trying to organize a protest here in Glendale, Arizona. We're thinking about starting off in the neighborhood where he lives. Obviously, I will not release his actual address or disclose what house it actually is, but we'll be on, public property. Starting in the neighborhood, and then we want to head down to 83rd Avenue and Bethany Home Road, where the scene happened, which is 10 minutes from his neighborhood. And from there, we're gonna march down to, we're thinking about going down to the Glendale Police Station, which is another like 12 minutes away.
Do you know, I don't know, and well, other than Stephanie, I'm not sure if anybody here is in Arizona or if they know anyone in Arizona that might want to attend, but do you have the details as far as dates and times planned out yet?
We don't have any dates or times yet. I had just barely brought this up yesterday and started organizing something. I'm thinking about doing it maybe like December 1st or something, like that first week of December, because I know right now like all the holidays are coming up. But I was thinking about doing it like December 1st, possibly.
We can go bring some people, help her out.
Okay.
Get some justice.
Do you guys by any chance know, is this person related to anybody important, like law enforcement, governors, senators, anything like that? There's got to be a reason that he's not, like, he's untouchable and unfindable. Like, is he protected by somebody important?
I've heard rumors, people commenting on my stuff saying that he is the governor's son, but I don't know if that's facts or not. But I've heard a couple of people keep on saying that. So if that is true, that would make sense on why he's so protected. But I do believe that he is related to somebody high in power, like a police officer, maybe the governor, who knows.
Well, I hope they make an example of him, because it doesn't matter who you related to or who you know. He clearly not only broke the law by speeding at an excessive rate, but he's also he's also the reason that 3 innocent people lost their lives. I mean, this is vehicular homicide. It's not something that you just say, oh, it's okay, we're just going to drag this case out and not let anything happen. I mean, he should be facing charges, and he should have gone to jail. There should have been something happen,
Yes, that's what I don't understand.
Everyday people don't just get away with it and, walk around for months without any kind of consequences. I can't drive down the road and hit someone and kill people and not get arrested. If I had a blood draw and they would know my toxicology report right then and there, I would be in jail, especially if I had anything in my system. Was he under the influence by any chance? Do you know?
They did tell us that he did have marijuana in his system, like THC in his system. But that's all they told me. When I had got the police report, it did not say they did a breathalyzer test on scene. It said no. When it said breathalyzer taken on scene, it said no. But the police officer did tell me that he did have marijuana in his system, and they are looking at impairment and speeding as a factor. The thing is, they have confirmed that he was going, at a high rate of speed, and he ran through a red light, and he had marijuana in his system. So I don't understand what they're still investigating.
Especially with the video proof. I mean, they have all the evidence they need right there in video. They just have to press play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is they have all the evidence. I don't understand what more are they researching. It has the video. You guys have confirmed his speed. You have confirmed my sister was following all traffic, guidelines. So I don't understand why he hasn't been arrested, like, my mom's been pulled over for speeding. I don't understand, she was ticketed for that. Why is he get to walk free?
Yeah, but it doesn't happen to normal everyday people. Now your family is being represented by an attorney, correct?
Well, we only have a civil lawyer, which is just going to be going over his assets, which personally we don't care about.
Right.
We are trying to look for a criminal lawyer who actually take us, to court against him. Currently, right now, we don't have the funds for that, so we're trying to raise, money with our GoFundMe, trying to find a criminal lawyer who could, help us. So
Where can we find your GoFundMe, so that if anybody in this chat wants to donate, they can?
Yeah, so right now I have it in my TikTok bio. But I can share the link with you. I'm not sure how to.
What's your name on TikTok? Do you care if I share it with the group?
Yeah, of course. So it's gonna be the Jazz Classy Kush Co. So it's JAZZKLASSY, and then KUSH, and then CO.
Okay, I just posted it. And so this is Jasmine's TikTok, and the information for the GoFundMe to raise money for a criminal lawyer is in her bio on TikTok. If any of y'all are interested in following her and possibly donating, that's where you can find it at.
Yeah, and another thing that we're working on is we actually started a petition to change, any traffic violations that result in a death. Instead of it making a civil matter, it should automatically be a criminal matter, because what they have told us is because he stayed on scene and did not flee the scene, it is a civil case and not a criminal matter. And I believe in Arizona that needs to change, because I have hundreds of people from Arizona who are reaching out telling me that the same thing has happened to them, that they were told it's a civil and not a criminal. So I want to make a change in that. That should not, if it results in a death, it should instantly be a criminal case.
I can't believe that just because he sat there and waited that it's civil. I mean,
obviously his car was up in a tree. How is he gonna flee? It doesn't matter.
It shouldn't be a civil matter. He killed people. That there should not be any questions about this. I don't understand what the hell they're doing. It's not right at all. He is the reason 3 innocent young adults. I mean, I'm older. I'm 40. So to me, they're kids. Like, I have an 18-year-old son, and I can't even imagine, these 3 kids were killed because of this man. I mean, just because he didn't murder them with a gun or a knife doesn't mean that it's not a form of murder. He killed them with his car.
Exactly. And basically from what I'm understanding is in Arizona, you can kill somebody with your car, but as long as you stay on scene, nothing will happen, is what I'm understanding. And that's basically what they're saying, is you can kill anybody with your vehicle as long as you stay on scene.
Somebody wants to know how much you need to raise for a criminal lawyer.
Honestly, I don't even know. I just been calling around. I've just been looking around, and most of them just, tell us so far we need to pay up front. So when they tell us that, I just hang up until I find one that's like pro bono.
Nobody has told you what they charge for retainer or anything like that they want up front?
No, we haven't. I honestly haven't asked. Just as soon as they tell me they, want payment up front, I just kind of, go on to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that over to you. My apologies. I don't know an exact number, but I know I can't afford it right now.
It's probably like a criminal lawyer. It could be $2,500 to $3,500 as a retainer, and then $350 an hour after that. The retainers, it covers the first 10 hours of service, and then it's $350 or $250 an hour after the retainer runs out. They're not usually cheap, but that's it. Doesn't sound like a lot of money, but $3,500 is a lot to come out of pocket. Just here you go, take it. Especially when you just had to pay for a funeral service, a burial. You're looking to find a new place to live.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is the GoFundMe? I know it says like almost 5,000 on it, but we had to cash out 4,000 that we used for the funeral, so it still shows that amount. But we used most of it for the funeral, and then we changed it, to help us get a criminal. And we're still making payments on the cemetery, and we still haven't made the full payment with them. So we're doing monthly payments with them, and at the same time, I'm like, I feel like we should have never even had to pay for this. It should have been him having to pay for all of this,
I wonder if you could sue him for all money that you've had to put out.
He was trying to settle $50,000 between 3 families. That's what he thought was enough to excuse me, but he thought that was enough to cover our lives. That's what his insurance was trying to do, was settle $50,000 out of court between 3 families. And we said, no, you can kiss my butt. No.
So I can't say his name, but he's 22 years old, a male, possibly related to some kind of head honcho.
And he has a paid off Tesla.
he owned a Tesla that was paid off in full at 22 years old. I don't know many adults that can afford to pay off a Tesla, let alone a 22-year-old kid. So $50,000 between 3 families. If you could pay off a damn Tesla, I think you can offer more than that. That's disgusting. That's really disgusting. And something needs to happen. How far are you from Phoenix?
Oh, it's literally like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Like we're right here on the border of like Phoenix. Glendale's like right next to it, so we're like 5-10 minutes from Phoenix.
Somebody in my chat, Miss Amy had mentioned, can you call the law school in Phoenix and see if they have, they can offer you a pro bono lawyer. A lot of them that are in their last stages of law school will reach out and do pro bono work to get, on their profile and to help them start to, get their career going. So I don't know if that would be something you would be interested in, or if maybe you want somebody that has, more experience, but that, that could be possible if you wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
Kit, it happened in
Trying to see. Do you know what the law schools in Phoenix? Which law school? Or like, are she meaning like any like law school? I didn't know she had like a specific one she had in mind. But I didn't think about that. That's a good idea.
There is one on Taylor Street. It's called Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law.
Oh, I know that one. Okay, yeah.
It's in Phoenix. It's 111 East Taylor Street, Phoenix, Arizona. And then I can send you a screenshot. I'll text it to you.
Yeah, I know that was the Sandra Day O'Connor one. Yeah.
What is the message that you would like to share with everyone? What is important for you to share that you want to have everybody hear? Maybe something that they haven't thought about. Anything. Is there something that you really want to express in your heart for everybody?
Yeah, of course, and like just really understand that life is really too short. This really is. You never know what's gonna happen, and you just need to love your loved ones now, today. Stop with I'm gonna see you later. I'm gonna see you later, because that's what I told my sister. I'll see you later, and didn't even think anything of it. And we always put me and her used to put all these plans on hold, saying we'll do it later, and I should have done it then with her and experienced it. And that's one of my biggest regrets. But not only that, loving your loved ones, now, stop with all the petty, sibling arguments. It's not worth it. But also, like, on the road, like, just slow down. Research shows you're never going to get anywhere quicker than 1 to 3 minutes. And what is that 1 to 3 minutes going to do if you're already late? Just slow down. It's not worth it, and before you go past the green light that just turned green, I would wait like maybe 5-10 seconds. Just pay attention to your surroundings, slow down. It's not worth it, because your life can change in just an instant. Yeah, like, it's just we gotta slow down on these roads.
Everything's changed.
Yeah, as soon as my sister's accident happened, there was just one like an hour later just up the street, and those people had passed away too. It keeps happening left and right. We got to slow down. And that's one of the biggest messages I want to say is just pay attention on the road, slow down. It's not worth it. And just make sure you love your family now, today. Don't go to bed mad at each other. It's not worth it. Anything can happen in a split second.
I mean, it's not just your life because you're speeding or in a rush and not paying attention that's going to change or possibly end. But I mean, it's your entire family that's going to suffer. You might not be here with us any longer because you know, you may have passed from the accident, but everybody around you that loves you and cares about you and has taken care of you or known you since birth, your family, your everything, they're all affected by this. And it's not just going to affect them for a couple days or months. It's going to affect them for life. Your family and Kevon and Jasmine's families will never be the same. Those people will never think right about, you know, a lot of things ever again. And just as you guys, I mean, there's always going to be something, a smell, a thought, a song that's going to, you know, happen to be around you and break you down. You might be doing great and be living strong and thinking that you're coping well and everything's going great. But I mean, it takes that much time to break you down again. This is a lifelong change for you guys. And it's really horrible that this man has been able to get away with this for this long.
Yeah, it's definitely
so
like a lifetime. It's definitely like a lifetime effect, you know, on everybody. Like, you know, my life has completely, you know, changed. That's why I can't even be on camera right now. I'm down to 90 pounds. I'm like stressed out, dark under eye circles, you know. All of us,
Yeah.
you know, all of our families have just been going through it terrible because of one mistake that he did that night, you know, changed the lives of 3 people. And now I'm scared that he might do it to somebody else, you know. He's still able to drive on the road and he could do the same thing.
Yeah. How's your mom?
You know, she's you know, going through it very hard, losing her daughter, you know, and then, you know, I look just like my sister, and then being here where she used to live, like, you know, playing with her dogs, because even her dogs think that I'm my sister because we look alike. And so I'm just playing along, you know, and it's hard for her to see me here, you know. It's a daily challenge, you know. It's like
Yeah.
we just wake up this morning. I just woke up instantly sad, started crying, you know, like 1 minute I'll walk out and it's 3 in the morning and I see my mom in the corner crying, you know, holding a picture. It's awful, and I wish I could stop feeling like this pain, you know. I just want it to go away.
Are you able to sleep at night?
No, it's been hard for me to sleep. I keep on having these night terrors. I haven't gotten a full night's sleep in months. Like since before she passed, I have not gotten any like a full night's sleep like where I felt like I'm fully rested, you know. And like yesterday, I was just drinking Pedialyte all day because I keep throwing up. It's it's awful, you know. I see my mom; she's up all night long sometimes, you know, and you know, I see her looking at me some type of way because, you know, I resemble my sister, and then we're here in the same apartment she lived in, so it's kind of like you look at me for a split second, you would think that I'm her, you know.
Yeah.
And,
Do you
like,
want me to see if anybody has any questions for you in the chat?
yeah. If
Oh.
anybody had any questions?
Hey, Trina. Does anybody want to ask Miss Jasmine here or her aunt any questions or have anything that you would like me to relay to them? We'll give them a second. Let's see. I can't. I've been fighting tears the entire time I'm talking to you. So
Yeah, I know. It's great. I'm like silently crying.
Hey, just Robin, how are you? All right. Nobody's typing anything or sending anything over, but
Yeah, I'm like, if any of you guys think of any questions, you can you know, go on my TikTok. That's where I'm mostly active on right now. So I'll keep posting updates on there, and I'll definitely come back on the channel with her to, you know, give you guys updates, see, you know, where this case is going, and I definitely want to let you guys know about the protest. So just keep up with the social media with both of us, and I'll keep you guys updated.
yeah, I definitely want to have you back on, especially if anything happens to this jerk, the Tesla guy. Karen says, I want to say you are very well spoken. Much love to you both. Sophie says, I will keep you and your family in my prayers. Beagle
Thank
Mom
you.
says they are in our prayers. Thank you, Amy. Let's see. Bossier Street. I'm always afraid I'm going to say this name wrong. Says I will be keeping you and all the families in my prayers. John Milk Dud says definitely need it to be a protest. Liz
Thank you,
says
guys.
they GoFundMe for a lawyer that's who's talking. The girl that I'm speaking to, Jasmine, has a GoFundMe to raise money for. It was originally for funeral costs, and now it's to earn money for a lawyer, a criminal lawyer, to handle this case. So spell your TikTok again so I can put it in the chat.
Yeah, of course. So it's JAZZKLASSY.
KLASSY.
Yeah, like classy, but with a K, and then KUSH, and then CO. So Jazz Classy Kushko is my name.
Amy says that she really thinks that a law student would love to take this case, especially since I think it is really a well-known case probably in your area since it's such a small area.
Yeah,
Karen,
I see them asking who Ariana Ramirez is. They might think that's my sister's name, but that's my aunt. She's the one who helped me set up the GoFundMe.
okay.
So Ariana Ramirez, that's the one who was just speaking with us right now. We call her Ari. So she's helping me with that.
And Karen, you can find the information for the GoFundMe on Jasmine's TikTok. I just posted the name. It's right above your comment. Is if you text me a link to your GoFundMe, Jasmine, I can post it on my community for everybody to see. If they want to check out the GoFundMe, they can get the direct link from my community on my YouTube. So
as
just
soon as we
send
jump
that.
off, I'll send it to you. For now, I just have it. As soon as you go to my TikTok, there's a link you can just click on. But I'll forward you the link as soon as we get off.
All right. Is there anything else you want to say before I let y'all go?
No, just thank you for having me on and sharing our story. I really appreciate all your guys' help with this.
Yeah, not a problem. I wish I could do more, honestly. But this is a start. We're bringing awareness and letting people understand about, your case and what's going on and the way things are being handled. And I honestly think that they're not playing fair at all. And there's a lot more involved that we don't know about that's happening with that family. So I will let you go. I thank you guys so much for coming on and talking to me. I definitely want to keep everybody up to date with protest information, so we can either jump on and do this again and talk about it live, or we can just post the information on my community. And then also, if anything starts to move forward with Tesla Guy, I'd like to bring you back and talk about it. Hopefully that it works out in y'all's best, it's just for the best for everybody. I really want something to happen, and I want him to, serve time, and I want you to feel like that, you got the justice that you deserve. So I will definitely keep in touch with you and let me know if anything happens further in this case. And I will put your TikTok information on my community wall as well with your story. This way I can let people know how to find your GoFundMe and the link to your GoFundMe. So thank you guys. Oh, hold on. What the heck's this? Thank you guys for, okay, I got your GoFundMe link. Thank you guys for joining me and talking to me, and to everybody that is here in the chat. I appreciate your time, and I really want everyone to just keep their eyes open and to make sure you pay a little bit extra attention when we drive. I'm not saying y'all are bad drivers or any of that, you know, but it's not necessarily you that's going to be the problem. You know, it's the people around you. So try to keep an open eye and watch, you know, your surroundings and stay safe, because this stuff can happen to anybody. I mean, it happened to 3 young kids and now they're not here anymore because of one person's selfish, foolish acts in the vehicle. So be safe, and thanks for joining us. I will post any information needed in my community. And I guess that's it for now. Thank you all so much, and have a great night. Bye.